that this trade has helped the Celtics at all, it doesn't make sense. Their record is worse since the trade. The bench's production has gone down since the trade. Our defensive production has gone down since the trade.
And I think that defensive production is a big key because lots of people don't understand what Perkins really brought to the table defensively. And he was definitely an underrated defender his entire career. And coupled with Kevin Garnett, your big men are supposed to be your last line of defense. And with Kevin Garnett and Perkins in the paint, no one was going to the bucket. In this series, you've just seen LeBron James and Dwayne Wade slashing the lane and getting easy buckets, getting to the free throw line, and there's no one really there to put them on their behind and sit them down and make them fear jumping into the paint like that.
And, maybe what it was is the fact that he was playing next to Kevin Garnett. And there's no question Kevin Garnett is a great defender. And he's always been looked at, he's the anchor of our defense, Kevin Garnett is. But if you look at our defense as a whole from back before the trade, Kevin Garnett was the #1 anchor, but Kendrick Perkins, I wouldn't even say he was the #2 anchor. Kevin Garnett was 1A and Perk was 1B. I mean, he was that important on defense. He was a big body, a big, intense body to have in the middle of the paint on defense. And he could clog up the lanes. He knew where to be. He knew how to help a lot better than anybody on the team is helping on defense right now. And he just always seemed to be there when you needed him. He was there to get the team up. He was there to make the big blocks, even the big fouls, hurt somebody a little bit in the paint. That's what basketball's all about. Don't let anybody get easy buckets when they come inside.
Especially come the playoffs.
And that's what Perk was all about.
And we've seen it.
Kevin Garnett can't do it himself, especially because, let's be honest, he looks like he's running out of gas lately.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age and it's getting tougher for him to maintain the type of intensity that he played with on a regular basis. So, I mean, he's going to be 35 soon. It's tough. And just last night, you're watching an overtime, and it's a struggle. You see Kevin Garnett, the only body under the basket, trying to grab rebounds. And I mean, I love Kevin Garnett, but he's not going to beat 4 other Heat players by himself under the basket because they were all crashing the boards while we're shooting jumpers trying to get back in the game, in overtime, that is, trying to get back into the game then. And I mean, he just can't do it himself. And the trade just kind of, it ruined a lot of chemistry. It came late. It just did not work. I didn't understand it when it happened, and this is just further proof that it was a bad deal.
And, I mean, a lot of it maybe was them banking on Shaq coming back sooner than he did, but clearly that didn't pan out. He's played maybe a total of 8 minutes since.
In the playoffs, he's played 12 minutes total, and since his original injury, I believe it was in February, he played 5 minutes in the regular season since then. So it just has not been.
It's non-existent, is what it is.
It hasn't. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it's been.
And it was great to see him in for the minutes that he did play in the playoffs, and it seemed like he did make a little bit of a difference. There was another big body in the paint, but I mean, it's just not going to happen with him. He's on the bench again tonight, and chances are that's where he's going to stay. So, I mean, Shaq's not a huge factor at all, and it's just. Hope and pray is all you can do now, I guess.
All right. Well, let's get off the
let's
funeral procession
here. Great news. Yeah. And the next topic in the chat room, the next question that we asked was, "Is this the year for the Bruins?" Great question, and we got a great answer. On Facebook, Josh said, "Yeah, we're going to beat Tampa, especially if Lucic turns it on." And true. I mean, if Luch can turn it on, with Bergeron gone, it's going to be a little tough. But if Luch can turn it on, I can see us coming out on top. But I don't know if I'm quite as positive as a lot of Bruins fans sound right now. I think a lot of fans are really excited about the series, really excited that the Bruins are where they are. And I think that Tampa plays a lot like Montreal plays. You're going to see a lot of flops. And they're also really, really good on the power play, and they're also good when they're down a man. They, I believe, are second in the playoffs at penalty kills, and they're first in power play goals. Not a good sign for the Bruins, who thus far have struggled in the power play. Only 2 power play goals right now for the entire playoffs, and one of them came in garbage time at the end of the game. And then, you look at, we're already not doing well on the power play. Tampa comes in, and they're doing great at penalty kill, so that's not going to go well for us.
It's going to be a struggle because both the power play and the penalty kill have been an Achilles heel for the Celtics. I mean, for the Bruins, for the Celtics.
Yeah, Celtics on the brain. But unfortunately, I'm positive. I feel like the Bruins can do this. So don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying I think the Bruins are going to lose, but I think it's going to be a really difficult series. And this time, instead of a little bit of production out of Luch and a little bit of production out of the power play, they need to get over that, and they need to get production out of the power play. They need to get solid production out of Luch. And if that happens, this series is theirs to lose.
Right.
But if that doesn't happen, it's going to be a struggle the whole way through.
Now, something that's really interesting about this series, which when I was looking at this, I knew that they were close, but I didn't know they were this close. Boston was 3-1 against the Lightning in the regular season. And, I mean, they won the regular season series, but at the end of the year, both Boston and Tampa Bay had literally the exact same record. Wins, losses, and ties. Exact same record. 103 points each. In the playoffs, they have the exact same record, both 8-3. I mean, it's unreal. And then you have two elderly goalies on both rosters. Figure that one out.
I don't know. They're mirror images of each other.
Yeah,
is really
it's crazy.
What they are. So we're in for a great series. There's no question there.
Definitely.
I'll be disappointed if this one doesn't go 6 or 7. Although I wouldn't be disappointed if it only went 4 and the Bruins swept. But this is going to be
I'm not going to give that back.
No, but I mean, it's going to be a great series. We're in for some great hockey in the next week or so.
And it's going to be a whole lot of fun to watch.
It's going to be absolutely great. And even, you look at the two goalies, the two elderly goalies, and Rolison is first in the playoffs with goals against him, and Thomas is second. Everything is just, they're mirror images, and they're very close to each other. Rolison allows 2.01 a game. Thomas allows 2.03. Doesn't get much closer than that. I know math. It doesn't get much closer than 1/100th of a goal off. So,
and I don't know math.
And even he.
And the save percentages are very close, too. Rolison with a .941 save percentage, and Thomas second in the playoffs with .937. So, I mean, they are.
Yeah.
We're going to see great goaltending.
Yeah, you look at but this is what brings me back to my little bit of worrying. You look at the two teams, and everything is dead even. The one thing that's not even is power play production, tongue twister, in the playoffs.
Alliteration there.
Alliteration.
There you go.
Yeah, that's power play production in the playoffs. Got it that time. But honestly, that's the one thing that's going to be the difference in this series if we don't fix what's going on soon, because that's really the only thing separating these two teams right now.
Well, honestly, I feel like these Bruins have. Maybe I'm riding a little bit of the fan train right now, but I think that these Bruins might have what it takes to jump ahead and keep going. Well, they do have what it takes, but I think that they're going to do it. I think that they're riding high, finally getting out of that second round. It's all off their minds. Tim Thomas finally becoming a playoff goalie. He finally won a Game 7, a big Game 7 in the first round against the Canadiens, which I'd like to give a quick shout out to our fan Kevin, who said, we want to see Montreal in the first round. And we questioned him.
No, we did.
We questioned him.
At first, I completely disagreed with him.
Because we said, tough matchup, but you know what? He told us that you want to see the Canadiens in the first round and then
move on.
Just move on from there, and so far they have.
No, I mean,
but I definitely think that they have they're going to move forward.
I think they have what it takes. I do. I'm not saying that I think they're going to lose the series. I just think there's some necessary steps that they're going to need to take in order to get past this series.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
So
I'll take it.
All right.
I guess I'll take it. Now, staying on with the Bruins, we're going to talk about something that's huge and going to be a massive part of what this series is the injury to Patrice Bergeron. He's been outstanding. He's been their best player in the playoffs so far. So we asked our Sports Chat Nation how big the injury is going to be, and we got an answer on Twitter. And our good old pal PJ McGinnis said on Twitter that I'm hoping not too big. Looking forward to seeing Seguin hit the ice and hopefully make an impact. And then he hashtagged faith. Well, I definitely will be interested to see Seguin. He's definitely a talented player. And in the Montreal series, people were screaming for him to play. And, he hasn't, and they've succeeded. So that's calmed down a bit. But you really can't back off what Bergeron has done for this team. He's leading the Bruins in the playoffs in points with 12 and assists with 10. And he's hands down the best face-off guy they have. He's been winning face-offs like it is his job. So he's been doing great at it.
He's literally getting paid to do it. So
I know. He's doing great at it, and I mean it's just gonna be very hard. He's shown great leadership qualities, I think, especially in the second half of the season this year. Some that we may not have seen before from Bergeron, but I mean it's gonna be tough. It's definitely gonna be difficult to try and make up for that loss.
It's not a knock on Seguin at all, but
No.
what it is just it's one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it things. The Bruins as a whole were running on all cylinders. You know, it wasn't anything that needed to be changed, and now all of a sudden we need to make a change to the first line, and things start to not fall apart, but things get a little bit iffy when things like this happen. You know, there's the one dark spot in the entire Philly series is the fact that Bergeron got a little bit hurt, and well, not a little bit, got
knocked.
Severely knocked.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's hockey.
Yeah, no, that's what it is, and the NHL takes concussions very seriously, so chances are he'll probably miss this whole series, but thanks to the other end of the playoffs going maybe 7 games, definitely 6 games, we getting a little bit of a rest. First game didn't come until a week after the last game, so maybe by the end of this series, if it goes 6 or 7, there's a possibility you could see Bergeron, but chances are...
That's the thing that they also lucked out with is the schedule that we told you about earlier. Since they're not playing until Saturday and then Game 2 isn't until Tuesday, that's some time that he can try and get back into things and get himself ready to play again. So we could see him at the later end of this, at the tail end of this series, which would be absolutely great for the Bruins.
But hopefully not, because hopefully the Bruins sweep in 4, and there's no need to see him at all. He can stay at home, he can rest, he can heal his concussion, and then he can come back. Exactly.
All right, well,
that's my plan.
Let's quickly jump into the other team.
All right, the Red Sox.
About them a little bit before.
They're not in the playoffs, but we do need to talk about them a little bit. They are playing. So in the chat room, we asked, are the Red Sox finally on the right track? And Joe told us, nope, they still suck. And Joe obviously is a little bit on the negative end of this.
Typical Red Sox fan.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I guess I'm a typical Red Sox fan too, because I don't agree with them. They don't suck, but they're not where they need to be yet. And that's, I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They need to get better. They need to get over 500. They need to start consistently winning rather than having a streak of awfulness, a streak of greatness, and a streak of mediocrity. And they need to get it together and do a little bit above average, which is where they should be with the lineup they have. So, you know, hopefully...
I mean, there's really not much more we can say.
No, hopefully they get there.
And
long way to go before the playoffs. So
right, absolutely.
Hopefully they get there.
All right, well, we're going to jump into our Twitter chatter, and personally one of my favorite parts of the show. And why don't you give us your tweet first?
I will. Michelle Beadle actually is my tweet tonight, and she tweeted last Sunday, after being deep in a dream and experiencing an enjoyable warm sensation on my arm, I woke up as my dog was puking on me. Happy Mother's Day. And first of all, I thought that was pretty funny. Second of all, I just wanted to take the opportunity to wish all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day. And
absolutely.
So to all of you who have been puked on before many times, happy Mother's Day.
And I used to projectile vomit, so my mom had to deal with a lot.
Yeah, well, didn't we all?
I was crazy.
Yeah.
And my tweet comes from, it's a little flashback to that first round series against the Canadiens. It's Brian Giunta who said, have to give props to Pine Grove Country Club. Great course, great people. Hopefully play it on a nicer day. Still should be hockey season. And I just got a little kick out of it because...
Made me smile.
The Bruins ended their season and now he's on the links, playing some golf.
Which is where he should be.
Absolutely. So, let's just hit you again with where you guys can contact us and send us all those good comments that we use on the show. First of all, on Facebook, we have our Facebook page that you can search and find us. And that is... you would go on to Facebook, search Sports Chat with the @ sign, and then you can go on to Twitter. You can find us at WA Sports Chat, or our own personal Twitters at Brian_Mahler or
at RJ Pomerleau.
And you can also find all of our shows that we put on YouTube are on WA Sports Chat. So just go onto YouTube, search WA Sports Chat.
And you will find us.
So keep your fingers crossed. Celtics, let's go, let's get it.
Yep, let's hope miracles come in green.
Absolutely. So
that's all we have for you tonight.
And if you're not down with that,
we've got 2 words for you.
Sports Chat.